K20. Alex had a work day this morning, so we stayed in our spot that we were at for the last 2 days. We were in Delta Junction, on the river floodplain. It was amazing. I found it on iOverlander. The views,
Wow.
just absolutely amazing. It was so cool. After workday, we got packed up and ready to head south because this is where now Alex has PTO tomorrow. We're going to be doing some fun things instead of just driving. Well, we'll be driving tomorrow on your PTO day.
Gonna be a drive. Stay tuned.
But we're not going to be driving on the weekend. We are staying put. We will be in one spot for 4 nights. We'll be doing things around that area. Stay tuned. It should be fun. We headed south on the Richardson Highway.
Mm-hmm. Pretty good road. Not too bumpy. Just a few here and there that were obvious. You could probably do 50 pretty nicely in a truck camper without much issue at all.
We drove to the Golconda Glacier trailhead. Well, we tried to get to the trailhead. So you turn off the Richardson Highway and you drive anywhere from 2 to 4 miles down a gravel, pothole,
River.
bumpy river. We made it, and you just drive until there's no more snow, and then you can park. But there was snow and a river running down the road at the 2.5 mile mark. You had to park, and there was a couple other cars at that point. The whole reason that we were doing this hike is they have a suspension bridge that goes over a river. And I didn't, nowhere could I find how far from the trailhead this suspension bridge was. So we had no idea how far we were going to hike.
We were true explorers.
Yes. We packed some snacks, we packed some water, and we hit the trail. It ended up being 1.5 miles from where we parked to the suspension bridge.
We could drive roughly 6 miles per hour.
Oh yeah,
for 2.5 miles in.
And the speed limit said it was 55.
55.
We could only go 6. It was really bad. Luckily, we didn't have to go far, and it was worth it. It was really cool.
It was fun.
Yeah. The dogs did not go on the suspension bridge. It was sketchy enough for humans to go on it.
Yeah, it was just planks. It was a couple of maybe 1/2-inch cables and like 2x6s with a 6-inch gap between them. It was legit sketchy bridge.
Oh yeah.
All rusty, and
we both went across it alone because one of us had to stay back with the dogs. I was freaked out by myself. I couldn't imagine having somebody on it with me.
yeah, the extra bounce might have been a little weird.
Yeah.
Trying to put your feet down because the bridge would twist if you didn't get your foot in the middle. The thing would move inches.
I felt like I was tipping to the right, so I felt like I had to move over
Left?
to the left on the flanks.
Funny, when you were out there, I commented that the poles were all bent down to the left.
Because I felt like I was tipping to the right.
Yeah. No, I mean the actual support poles.
Oh, really?
The telephone poles.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow. It was fun, and I did it. I made it. The scariest part was going over the actual river. I don't know why that got so scary. It was loud. It was just...
That was the high point. It was,
Yeah.
what do you think, 20 feet?
Well, no, it was the low point, because the suspension bridge dips.
I think it was the high point from the ground, though.
No, the high point is where you would have gotten up.
Yeah, but you're only 5 feet off the ground.
I think it was lower. Anyway. We'll look at the video and see
Roll the tape.
who's right. Who do you think is right? Comment below. After the hike, we got back on the Richardson Highway and started heading south again. And the roads seemed to get worse.
They were like, they put you to sleep. You were going nice at 60 miles an hour, and then suddenly just a bunch of frost heaves or swales, whatever the right word is, it would just send the truck into a bucking horse. We learned after, I don't know, 5 or 6 of those that for a truck camper, you can really only go about 50, and then you got to be ready to slam on the brakes to go 35. And you might need to do that for 400 or 500 feet, and then you go back to 50 and back down. It was never ending. The whole way down to Copper Valley was just nothing but that.
I noticed that there's no roadside garbage and toilet breaks. There's a lot of pullouts where you can stop, but they don't have garbage cans. They don't have a pit toilet, which, I mean, the bathroom isn't an issue for us because we have the camper, but in Canada, every single pullout had a garbage, and there was a sign announcing that there was a garbage.
Yeah, you knew you could pull out. You knew when to slow down, and you didn't have to like go into some skid because there's one.
Right.
They don't really announce them well here.
And for us, being in a truck camper and boondocking, we rely on being able to throw garbage away.
Yeah, we can't be hauling more than a basketball.
We have a very small garbage can, and we do that on purpose so that it's easy to throw away at a gas station. We're not taking up the entire garbage can. We did end up stopping for gas in Glen Allen, got our garbage emptied, lots more gum, but we're not chewing it. We chewed it before our video.
We're becoming professionals. Let me rephrase that. We're becoming professionals. We can speak clearly.
After gas, we were only a couple minutes away from our first boondocking option for tonight. There's 4. So the first option was a roadside pullout, but it was tucked back behind some trees. Seemed like it was going to be all right. There was a small trail there that the dogs did get out and go explore. And what did they find?
There were 2 mud puddles, the only ones in the whole area. Absolute gray muck. They came back wearing boots.
They both had lines on their ankles. Like they just literally both walked in with all 4 feet up to their ankles and had gray boots on.
It was pretty mucky.
And as soon as they found the mud, I was like, we're not staying here because I want to be able to just open the door and let them go out and go out. I don't want to have to constantly have them on the leash.
It was a little close to the road for me anyway. I didn't worry about them.
We decided let's go ahead and cut an hour out of our drive tomorrow because tomorrow's drive is going to be very, very interesting.
Yeah.
We'll have to come back to see how that goes.
Yeah, tomorrow shouldn't be terribly long, but it might be
not long in distance.
In distance, but it might be long in time and mental stress. Yeah. So the less of anything we can do for tomorrow is probably a good thing.
This 4th option, hopefully it's actually available because I don't have any options after that. We'll see when we get there. It's another river bed. So we'll see.
Should be a good spot. And it's getting late too. It won't be till 8 o'clock by the time we pull in.
Right.
So I hope it's going to work out.
Yeah, beautiful mountains. Oh my gosh.
Unreal scenery right at this moment. I don't know that we can capture it on film. Here's a pull out. I'm going to pull out. I've been following this mountain range, and these 3 mountains or 2 mountains. It's hard to say anymore. There's mountains everywhere. But these particular ones are amazing. We've been seeing them all day. So, the first part of this video we're going to put on is no zoom, just to show that these things are absolutely massive. And then, we're being attacked by mosquitoes. I don't know how big these mountains are, We'll have to look it up, or maybe you can look it up. We just turned onto the Edgerton Highway heading east. Mountains all day, trying to get photos of it. I hope you even get a rough sense of it because they're just massive.
I have learned that trying to take photos and videos of these mountains does no justice unless you can park your car and walk 200 feet away from it and take a picture, because they do not look as big and they do not look as impressive in person. You will just have to come to Alaska and see them for yourself.
Yeah, if you could take Rainier and take everything else around it and run it all the way to sea level, and then stand in Seattle and look at Rainier, that's what it's like looking at these three mountains. They're just in your face and massive.
So something that we're doing different than other people who travel to Alaska is that we are going south first. A lot of people, from what we've heard, actually go in on the Alaska Highway and then they head up to Fairbanks and then come back down. And come
Fairbanks is kind of right there once you get here, so it makes sense to do it that way,
Yeah,
but we have good reason.
yeah. After doing some research, I discovered that we're heading towards Wrangell St. Elias National Park. And there's one road in, and it's on a old abandoned railroad track. And that if you go at the end of the year, the railroad ties start to get exposed, and the washboards and the bumps, the road gets way worse. It's already going to be bad, but from what I understand is the beginning of the season the road is better, and that's the best time to go if you're going to go down there. So that is why we're going south first and doing that. Stay tuned for more adventures.
See ya. Hat on straight, my shirt straight, my collar straight.
Straighten up what?
Okay. Got all that on video? Sweet.
I really hope you can hear Otis snoring on the camera.
If you see him right there,
He's snoring away.
where's the mic? Peace.
Did you just do peace with that whole hand?
Ow.
Peace.